Question one, the formula of the source of life. Reading one, currently our society is being governed by three perspectives. The first perspective is the scientific perspective. The second is the religious and belief perspective. And the third is the perspective of morality or principle. Regardless of where we live in the world, we are currently being influenced by this perspective. And one of the laws that influences greatly is the law of causal and effect and the laws of causal condition interaction. If we imagine our current life is our current result simply the outcome of the seeds we sow in the past? There is a formula called the formulas of the source of life. What is the formula? Let's write it down. Formula for desired outcome. Good cause at favorable condition equal desired outcome. Therefore, if we want to create a desired future, shouldn't we focus on creating the good cause in right in this present moment? This present moment. This knowledge, religion, and belief, science, and morality of principle all lead to one statement. We need to understand the root cause of a person's life through these three perspectives to consistent to have a thorough understanding of the cause. When starting under the scientific perspective, why do we have this result today? If standing under the religious and belief perspective, why do I have this result today? If standing under the perspective of morality principle, why do I have this result? First, let's thoroughly understand the cause from the scientific perspective to discuss the source of life of a person, religion and belief, morality, principle, and saying. The formula of the source of life, we take a piece of paper and write down the word result at the bottom and circle it when draw and around leading to the result. If we have to choose one word that directly represent the result of our life today that affect our result, that affect our life's result, it would be choice. Expert give us that the message that choice directly affect the results of our life today. But let's reflect. It is true that the chain of choices we made in the past determine the results of our life today. When we reflect, we often grant ourselves the right to choose the good thing in the life. However, when it comes to implicit thing, the tendencies of our inner self is to attribute the choice to others. If we contemplate when even the desirable and undesirable situations in life are owing to our own choices, and we will understand the source of life originates from ourselves. Therefore, the source of life originates from me, but it is not my fault. Why it's not my fault? It is because we didn't know any better. If our awareness at the time, our awareness was only at that level, which led to that choice. Therefore, the choice we made that exactly moment was correct. However, we do not know what kind of personality is suitable for a good outcome. So if we focus on changing personality, it is not yet the root cause. It is because no specific personality trait dictate that a person's life will be good. We just in a different way, we have different personalities. Therefore, any personality can potentially lead to but any personality can also lead to poverty. Ultimately, people realize that even if they change their personality, they wouldn't know which one was appropriate. That focusing on changing personality is not the root cause, and the result will still repeat. But if you don't change your personality, you don't change the result yet. Focusing on changing personality does work because isn't the root cause. The expert from inform us that a person's habit create their personality. After this realization, they started asking us to focus on changing habit. Good habit will lead to a good personality, resulting in good choices. After some time, people discover that changing habits changes personality, and changing personality changes the result. However, they realize that the they realize that habits are also not the root cause. They investigate further and found that a person's action determines their habits. So they say that just good action will lead to good habit. Good habits lead to good personality, and a good personality will lead to a good destiny or good life result. Focusing this, they try to manage people's action, but they discover that actions still repeat the old patterns, and changing a person's action is very difficult. They success in changing the action, but focusing on changing action does not last. Eventually, experts provide provide us with the the insight that a person's thought determine their action. They told us that good thought will create a good action, and good action will result in good habit. Good habit will lead to good personality, which then lead to the final result choice. Thus, the saying goes: "So a thought with an action, so an action with an habit, so a habit with a personality, so a personality with a destiny." The entire world focus on how people could cultivate a good mindset and good thoughts. However, through deeper research over time, people discover that even when they try to control their thought, negative thoughts still repeatedly emerge in their life. These thoughts were always present in their minds. Present in their minds, they began to investigate what determined a person's thought. If focusing on a thought, a person continued to repeat negative thought in life, the question is raised, right? Is right. What shape a person thought? High-level mental and expert pointed out to us that it is their belief that shape their thought. Belief essentially human always hold a belief about something. This belief can be counter to their desire or aligned with their desire. This is also known as a positive or negative belief. For example, someone say, "I keep trying to lose weight, but I can't lose any. I'm so discouraged. I keep trying to, but it does work. It doesn't work." Normally, our thinking assesses that they lack the belief in their ability to lose weight. However, the deeper trust is that the person holds the belief that they are very fast and will never be able to become thin. Whatever belief a person holds, their life result will form accordingly. This is because belief directly affects their choices, and whatever belief is held, that result manifests If we hold the belief that we cannot do something, the result is that we cannot do it. Human belief does not have a 99% concept. Belief is 100 conviction that you hold the belief. The difference lies only in the direction of that belief, whether it's aligned with or goes against the desire. If human knew that knowledge, it would be wonderful. So if someone believes I am not beautiful, or no matter what I do, I am not beautiful, the result is the result is the result is that the person believes they are ugly. So nothing they do make them beautiful. Therefore, some people imitate imitate the other and go for a no job, but their inner belief is that they are an ugly person getting a nose job, which sometimes result in them demanding their nose. Conversely, Conversely, a person who already believes they are beautiful when they get a cold juice, it makes them even more beautiful. People who hold the belief that they are happy become happier when they get married. Conversely, if we hold the belief that we are miserable, then whoever want married, we will remain miserable. There was a story about a woman who her husband was launching a book. He was a famous self-development trainer, a reporter. Instead of interviewing him, play a touch trick, uh, turn and turned to his wife asking, your husband is very famous self-development trainer, and he has helped many people change their life and become happy. But honestly, has he brought happiness to you? The woman answered immediately, no. Everyone around was alarmed, alarmed, wondering why she said that, and if it would demand her husband's reputation. Another reporter pressed on, asking, so has your husband truly brought your happy life result? And she said no. Then another person skillfully asked a more open-ended question. The woman smiled and replied, how can a man bring happiness to a woman? A woman must have a happiness on her own, and only then can a man bring her more happiness. He has brought me happiness. I must be a happy person, and he is just the one who brings me more happiness. Internally, we lack the belief that others love us. We don't believe our husband or children love us, so we strive and demand their love, and that what is the resulting outcome? People do not love us because internally we lack that belief. So we don't see the result eternally. Therefore, we only need to change our inner belief system to change the result. Here is the concept we need to grasp. The inner belief versus the conscious desire. For example, when a woman or a man gets married, they expect the marriage to be harmonious and happy. However, deep down, some people inner belief does not include harmonious and happy marriage. So the conscious desire is for harmonious and happy marriage. But if the inner belief contradicts this desire, the result is that the inner belief always trumps over the conscious desire. If the inner belief and the conscious desire are unified, life become wonderful. The conscious desire usually aim for good things. For example, happiness, marriage, success in the work, and good relationships with people. Almost anyone wish for positive outcomes. If the conscious desire is ununified with the inner belief, human life is wonderful. Humans struggle at this point between thought and beliefs. It is a crucial great gateway of the brain, mindset, and the person's inner subconscious, which often conflict with each other. Ultimately, the inner self will human try to use their conscious mindset to change the inner self, and science often favor this approach. If science were uh, entirely correct, the life of people for who follow science would all be wonderful. However, the scientific perspective would show us that our inner beliefs are what determine our result. Therefore, we must change the belief system to change result. Merely thinking about the externally we will not change the result. However, belief is also not the root cause, so changing belief doesn't suffice. We don't know why we trust certain people person, so we raise the next question: what determines a person's belief? That is the person mental image, our or the Caesar or the Caesar, the mental image is determine their belief. The seeds of mental image in our mind determine our belief, which determine the results of our life. Mental image let coordinate on a small exercise. Choose the two people closest to us, two people we feel most familiar with. Then, without thinking, write the name vertically on both sides. Then, instantly choose five words that evoke the mental image of our feeling and emotion about that person. You can start and do this exercise here and then continue reading. Because we have that see that the mental image in our head, it projects to result of our lives externally. We see our father as handsome, funny, gentle, but sometimes other people might not see his gentleness. They might even see him as strict. Yet we see him as a gentle in our eyes, even when he sleeps. We might perceive him as diligent. Why? We assume he must be tired, which is why he is sleeping. But the Caesar if the system, the mental image we hold in our father is laziness, then even when he is working, we might say, look at that lazy attitude. The result of our external life are projected from the seed of mental image in our mind. The story of the pen. Let's borrow this story from Jesus' macro. Imagine we are holding an object we frequently use, perhaps a pen or a writing tool. Now consider another crucial, crucial or very intelligent animal living in our house, a puppy. When we see this, we call it a pen or writing instrument because we use it to write. But when the puppy encounter this object, it chews on it. The puppy's accent of chewing makes us think the puppy perceives this object as a bone or a toy, which is why it's chewed. If the puppy perceived this as a pen, it would use it. It would use it to write. This means we see this object and call it a pen because we visualize using it to write. What about the property? It proceeds to run and chew on it. Yeah, it perceives this as a toy or a bone. Who is right is, in our opinion, the puppy perceives this as a bone or a toy, and we perceive it as a pen or a writing instrument. Both are correct. Now let's put that object in the room. No one is here. No one is there. Neither us nor the puppy. If no one is here, what is this object? It is nothing at all. It's not that it doesn't exist, but because there is no subject perceiving it, no subject cognizes it, no subject feeling it, and at that moment it's nothing. Being nothing does not mean it doesn't exist. All things has the the nature of emptiness. All things have the true nature of emptiness. Potentially, it is nothing when there is no subject perceiving it. So what it is? It's created by the subject that cognizes it and the subject that perceives it. Now we step in and we look at the object. That object at that moment, it is a pen, but if a dog step in, it will perceive it as a toy or a bone. If we and the puppy step in the same time, for us it is a pen, and for a puppy it is bone. So a specific question arises. What determines the nature of that object? It is determined by the external nature affecting us, or is reflect from within us to the outside. We find that the nature of this object is determined by what is within us, by the seeds of mental image in our mind that dictate that what is object is. The seeds of mental image in our mind project outward to manifest that reality. Early, we say our Father is a gentle person. Essentially, the Father is neither gentle nor anyone, but because we have that mental image inside, it projects outward. Our Father being gentle, diligent, or complaining is based on our cognition of Him. It is because we hold those sister mental image about our Father that we perceive Him that way. The mental image within a person determines that the result and reflect their external life reality. Therefore, the word they perceive is based on the mental image they hold. So if we want to change the external world, or in other words, if we want to change our destiny according to the scientific perspective, changing the mental image changes destiny. Changing the mental image changes destiny. Changing the mental image changes destiny. The tendency of our inner physiological life is very interesting. The longer people live together, if a person does not nurture and enlarge the positive mental image they hold about their loved ones, the negative image will manifest. It is miraculous phenomenon of principle of life and of darkness. The principle of life states that the closer we live to someone, if we hold and last the positive image we have of them, but by default, the unpleasant image will emerge in our mind. That is why when we first meet someone, we generally form positive mental image of each other, but the no longer we live together, if we fail, uh, if we fail to enlarge the positive image of other person, the unpleasant image will manifest. That undesirable reality often focus on society relationship leading to thoughts like my neighbor's wife is better or my neighbor's child is better than mine. Someone else's husband is better. My husband is not good. Other people wife are beautiful, other people wives are good. Why? Because we only met the neighbor's husband or wife with and we see the body image, but our own husband or wife is around all the time. And because we don't know how to enhance the positive image, we see the poor images. We only need to change the image toward the direction we desire to orient our image to what we want. If we hold good and beautiful image, the belief system will automatically change, and the result will change in an insistent. Therefore, if a person can maintain beautiful image of loved ones, especially positive images of people will change our entire faith condition regarding people, maintaining a good image of our health, maintaining a good image of society, relationship, maintaining a good image of ourself and our inner self, maintaining a good image of our finance, changing the mental image changes destiny. We only need to have a one simple realization according to the scientific perspective. The source of light originates from the mental image in our mind. We only need to remember one thing: the state of mental image in our mind determines the results of our life today. This leads to profound saying: if one fully grasps it, every matter should begin with the result. Everything matters should begin with the result, because the simpler way to achieve anything we are about to do is so start from the result. For example, why is it so difficult for a person married to be happy? Because we do not start the marriage by defining the result of the marriage. The results we have are often based on observing those around us. Our mind hold the image of a bad marriage result. So when we start, we already have that result. All human in devote that from the result in a person's mind, the mental image of a person's mind is the result of external reality. When the destiny is seen, there is no need to rush. If the destination is unseen, why rush? When we start with the result, our journey automatically changes. It is like knowing what we are going, no matter the mean of transport. We can get there, but if we don't know where our destination is, even we are equipped there with the modern facility, we cannot reach the destination. Thus, every master should begin with the result. The result is from the mental image in our mind. Therefore, simply changing the mental image changes destiny. When the image is clear, our life become clearer. Hence, every matter begins with the results. So we can conclude that according to the scientific perspective, at this moment, the seeds of mental image in our mind determine the results of our life. Now, the question is right. What determines the mental image in our mind? This because those images appear spontaneously in our head. What we hear, see, say, and know determine the mental image in our mind. It is specifically what we hear, what we see, what we say, and what we know that determine our mental image. And what we are struggling with most often is the knowing that is determinal, the detrimental to the future. Currently, the knowing regarding marriage is highly detrimental to the mental image we hold. Most of the mental image are negative. The knowing regarding child education gives a marriage image that are not very positive. The knowing about this life, the knowing about people give us this disadvantageous image of people. The knowing we have about career and business in life makes things increasingly adult, especially our knowing about health. This knowing has influenced us from birth until now, because according to the scientific perspective, we cannot say about the time before birth. So from the moment we are born until now, what we know, what we see, what we say, and what we hear have an influence on our mental images. If we live in a tribe, village, or in lineage where the average the average lifespan of people is between 120 and 160 would we feel old and decrepit if we were 16 years old, or would we still feel like we are in early youth? What we know about health, what we hear about health, what we see about health, and what we understand, what we say about health is different from those who live in a village or in lineage where the average lifespan is 60 or 70 years. In this later case, people around 60-year-old are mostly winding down. If we were 16 then, wouldn't we feel like we were about to go close to hell? If we live in a lineage where the average monthly income of the adult is around 1 million, no less than 20 billion. How would we feel today if our income were 200 million? How would we feel? So what we hear, see, say, and know determine our mental image. But if the entire lineage struggles just to afford food, and the highest income anyone has is 20 million or 30 million, how would we feel with an income 200 million? Wonderful, right? If only one star appear in the sky, in the future, a constellation of stars will appear. Therefore, in society, when someone achieves something wonderful and itself, it's will lead to a chain of start emerging. What people hear, see, say, and know will gradually change accordingly, and we will change the image of society. At this time, achieving peace and joy is simply than begin angry. In the future, someone will say that comprehensive wealth is simpler than poverty. Gradually, what we hear, see, say, and know will change, and society will undergo a massive shift. If only a few people thoroughly understand life, society will also understand life, because what is here seen, spoken, heard, seen, spoken, and known is constantly changing. There is a Japanese story about researchers studying the behavior of very intelligent monkeys. The monkey loves sweet potatoes, so scientists gave them sweet potato. The first burn them in sand to observe their reaction. The monkeys like them but found the sand unpleasant, yet they still had to eat. One beautiful day, a female monkey accidentally dropped her sweet potato onto this water. She picked it up and ate it, finding it delicious. From then on, she knew to wash the potato before eating. She taught her father, mother, and sibling, and gradually her family taught the surrounding families. Scientists make every monkey that learn the washing method. When 100 monkeys were reached, which something surprising happened. That monkey had not been in contact with any other monkey and have never been taught how to wash the potato. But when given the potato, is spontaneously went into fine water and washed it. Observing all monkeys from the 100th one on what they gradually all knew about do it. The phenomenon even switched to other islands, despite the geographical distance, where monkeys could not possibly travel between islands. Yet the monkeys also knew how to wash the potato. A person's life and society will continuously transform when we change what we hear, see, say, and know, and change the mental image in our future. This alignment of condition will help others change in the future as well. Therefore, when living in a family, we are determined to transform ourselves as over time as our mental image change regarding ourselves and those around us. The family automatically changes too. Thus, there is no need to seek change in others, just focus on changing ourselves. This means changing our mental image about ourselves and our loved ones. It means changing our knowing about ourselves, our knowing about humanity, and our knowing about the laws of causal condition and result. It is how we change the image and subsequently we change what we say. The the formula of changing changing the image as control what we hear and see, changing what we say and know, then we change destiny. First, we change the knowing, then change the saying and control the hearing and seeing, gradually changing the mental image changes destiny.